The cup winners, Danny Maguire injured his ribs late on at Wembley, he's not recovered, so Liam Sutcliffe partners Kevin Sinfield at half-back. The other absentee is Rob Burrow. So Papua New Guinea international Paul Ayton gets a start at hooker. Ryan Bailey, having been on the bench at Wembley, starts at prop. And that means that Kylie Luluai began last week, swaps places with Bailey here. Robbie Ward is in the 19 for the first time since the beginning of the month. St Helens produced a miracle at Langtree Park in March to beat Leeds with the likes of Lomax, Walsh, Wilkin out for the rest of the season. They'll have to do the same again. A boost though, Lance O'Hire, their Kiwi international, returns after missing the last three. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook was in the second row 2 weeks ago against Wakefield, and he stays there. Jordan Turner's in the pack for only the second time of his St Helens career. The experience will come off the bench. Sia Soliola's in his last season with the club. Willie Manu scored 2 tries here in the playoff defeat last September. So St Helens, they are pursuing their quest of winning a trophy for the first time since 2008. One of the dominant teams of Super League's first 15 years. They now aim for their first silverware for the cabinet at Langtree Park. But they came home with the Holy Grail 6 days ago. They won the Challenge Cup for the 12th time, their first in 15 years, ending a run of 6 consecutive final defeats. And it's a big night for Leeds. It's also a big night for York Acorn under 10s. A special mention to Oliver Taylor, who broke a leg earlier this year. We mentioned him during the Wigan Hull KR game. Apparently it gave him such a fantastic boost, he's now able to walk without crutches, having been given the all clear by his doctors. Good to see him back on his feet again, so keep on getting better, Oliver, and well done to the York under 10s, York Acorn under 10s. Richard Silverwood is the match referee tonight. He's the man in the middle. The pitch, emerald green, in perfect condition, apart from in the in-goal areas, but the new groundsman here, he's worked hard on the pitch. And it's a little bit like a golf course green. It's been top-dressed, and apparently the weather just hasn't been quite right. So it's not 100% perfect, but just look at it. It is in magnificent condition here at Headingley for this great game, which gets underway courtesy of the boot of Mark Percival.
Well, it's very rare, Eddie, that you say that a visiting side to Headingley will start this game as hot favourites. But I'm afraid you'd have to say that how much is that Wembley victory taken out of the Rhinos tonight? We'll certainly see. When you look at the ages of Peacock and, of course, Kylie Luluai, you say to yourself, will they last, especially late in the game? But it seems to me that Saints, with such a big pack, they've got 4 huge players on the bench as well. They want to go down the middle. Leeds, of course, they want to utilise those quick backs out wide. Solid tackling on Brent Delaney from the likes of Lafranchi and also Alex Walmsley. Kevin Sinfield kicking on the last, kicking long on the last. The ball bouncing in the sanded area, the top-dressed area, and over for a 20-metre restart. Very important that Leeds get their kicking game right. Remember last week at Wembley, that was one of the features, especially the tactics that was utilised by Brian McDermott, using the short blind side where Rob Burrow and Maguire utilised it on the short, kicking into the corner. Of course, those 2 players not on display tonight, so it's up to Kevin Sinfield to make sure the kicking game is spot on.
Roby was the dummy half. Here is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Second row for the first time in first time in 7 against Wakefield 2 weeks ago. He holds on to the position here tonight. There's Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Saints over the halfway line, courtesy of that run from Kyler Moore, and then the high kick comes in from Lance O'Hire, and this is easy for Zach Hardacre, but it's a good chase from St Helens.
Yeah, tremendous work there, especially by Paul Wellens, the skipper, went low. Interesting to see how St Helens didn't wait until the last. They went on the 4th, going early.
When I watched St Helens play the last game, Eddie, the thing that struck me was the increased influence and involvement that Jordan Turner had in the game. He's wearing number 3, and I think he'll probably get involved in this tackle, though he doesn't at that point. But the more he got involved last game for the Saints, the better St Helens looked, the more balanced, the more attacking threats they had. As I see an error here, a poor start for the game there for Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He's lost the ball as he's gone to ground. This is the sort of start here for St Helens. They're going to get the ball to attack in a good part of the position, and Jordan Turner could be key to the influence and balance that Saints have over the next 3 weeks.
And interestingly, Phil, as well, one of the star performers for St Helens in that game that you referenced, where Turner was very good, was Josh Jones, who's just forced the ball loose. Nathan Brown, his coach, made reference to his stats after the game. Very impressive in attack, very impressive in defence, and he's continuing that again tonight.
Yes, he's forced that error from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and you got a shot there of the Saints coach Nathan Brown. Looks like it might be thirsty work being coach of St Helens. Line of water bottles in front of him to last the 80 minutes. That ball is lost, but it is stolen on the ground. Brett Delaney doesn't agree with Richard Silverwood's interpretation.
Well, it's been deemed that Delaney had the right arm underneath and dragged the ball away. It's not convincing on the replay. Either way, well, this is surprising. St Helens are going to take up the offer of the two.
Yes, they are. They've indicated, and the touch judges are making their way behind the post. I wonder if this is the ploy for Nathan Brown and Kieran Cunningham there, the coaching double act. Anything we get against Leeds tonight at Headingley, we take. Early points might be so important late on.
Yeah, well, I find it interesting because I suppose in many ways most people will be thinking that, you know, St Helens have had the fortnight off. It was a tough encounter for Leeds down in Wembley, and quite frankly I'd be wanting to kick into the corner and keep Leeds moving around.
Well, here's the opportunity for them to get the scoreboard ticking over. Mark Percival, who's appeared in the last 9, started the last 8. He's been on the score sheet for all of them. 22 points against London last month, 2 tries, 7 goals, and a 58-16 victory. Here's the opportunity for the first 2 tonight, and he kicks it easily, and so St Helens have the lead. It was significant at Wembley last week that Leeds kicked Castleford to death. They went for position. Kevin Sinfield drilling the ball into the corners, making sure that Castleford had to work hard to even get close to them. And here tonight the first points come from the boot, this time of Mark Percival. Kicking is so important.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you're right with the fact that they utilise the kicking game on that short side, as we've already mentioned, but it really has confused me, Eddie. You know, I thought they'd want to run Leeds run them riot in the opening 20 minutes, but they've done it before, Saints. They've opted for the 2 points, and especially with the likes of Mark Percival, you were spot on.
So St Helens, in the shape of Kyler Moore, will try and work this ball upfield. He's grounded on tackle number 2, 22 metres or so away from his own line. And that was another decent drive from Alex Walmsley. Ohio gets the pass away to Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. He might be wearing number 10. He usually a prop forward, but he's very mobile, is LMS. And we've reached the 5th tackle, so Jordan Turner gets it back to Wellens, who skips away from a couple. They were expecting the kick, and the ball bounces all over the place.
That'll be the final tackle, that'll be the turnover.
I think the ball played the Leeds man rather than the Leeds man playing the ball, even though Amor dropped on it.
Neat little dummy, he made the break, back on the inside. Yeah, the ball played the Leeds fella, you can see that quite clearly.
So here's a chance for the Rhinos. And, well, that's Ryan Hall, who is done to the ground. Lance Todd Trophy winner at Wembley last week with 2 blockbusting tries, very close to the try line. And then he carried the ball and about 2 or 3 opponents over the line with him on each occasion. Caught the eye of the British press, who make the award. This fellow played well down there too, Zach Hardacre, as indeed did Danny Maguire, who's absent tonight. He was instrumental in the victory, Maguire. This now is Delaney again. Delaney running hard. They've reached the last tackle though, have the Leeds Rhinos with Ayton. And now Sinfield, up it goes into the air.
That's a great kick.
And that's a great palm back. And it's still alive with Delaney. Delaney then gives it to Peacock. Somehow he held on to it. Still the last tackle is Hardacre keeps it alive and finds Sinfield. Sinfield over the top. And in the end, straight into the arms of Shannon McDonnell, the former Hull man. Yeah,
poor finish to it. They kept the ball alive, but really, Kevin Sinfield should have gone for the little dribble into the corner, create a bit of confusion. It was easy for Shannon McDonnell to get it.
So relieved, Kevin Sinfield, after so many heartbreaking days at Wembley to come home with the Challenge Cup, but here is a chance for them now. They've capitalised maybe, or they will try and capitalise on that St Helens error in defence.
It'll be interesting to see if Leeds do the link early. They've taken that drive. Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Looks like Peacock's going to take it up again. No, they're going to do the link with Sinfield.
And he gets it to Sutcliffe. This now is Ablett. And Ablett, he backed into the challenge of O'Hire and then kept the legs pumping, and look where he's ended up. He's just a half a metre short of the line. Aiton, the dummy half. Here's Peacock. He's presented it to Bailey, and Bailey backs himself towards the line as well. And the St Helens scrambling defence moves across and keeps him out. Aiton waits once more, right under the sticks. Sinfield, short ball, great tackling. Wonderful tackle by McDonnell, helped out by the skipper Wellens. Peacock now dummy half, goes to the right-hand side to Sinfield. Watkins, good tackling by Jordan Turner and James Roby. Briscoe waits now. This is the last. Briscoe gets the ball alive. Watkins, can they stop him? Yes, they can. The ball's come free. It's gone back into the in-goal area. McDonnell takes it over the line. And St Helens are appealing for something from the referee and touch judge.
Well, they think it's a knock-on, so they don't want to drop out underneath the sticks. And fair play to Richard Silverwood. He wants to find out what happened in that corner.
And there might be the hint that the ball was taken by a St Helens player more than two in the tackle. Certainly came free. Stuart, what do you think?
Well, he certainly said it's no try as far as he's concerned. He wants to see how the restart is. It looks like the ball is actually pulled out as he tries to get over the line. He hasn't got a lot of options, Callum Watkins, because everything's wrapped up there. But I'm not too sure. I think he might just lose the ball.
He's lost the ball forward, hasn't he, in the field of play.
It's a knock-on, there's no doubt in my mind. But tell you what, Matt Dawson, very, very lucky to get away with it. He went very high into that tackle.
Well, that's not the way of the video referee, Ben Thaler, or the referee Richard Silverwood has read it. It's a penalty to Leeds.
It's the last tackle, and he has to release the ball anyway. If you go on the benefit of doubt, it's got to be really in favour of the defender there, because he's trying to get the ball free.
Yeah, well, I didn't think there was any doubt. I think he just lost the ball, and you know, it should be a 10-metre play the ball to St Helens.
But it isn't. It's a penalty to Leeds, and that's courtesy of Ben Thaler. And here comes Ryan Bailey.
Pretty strong defence by Saints, it has to be. They're pummeling away the Rhinos.
Another penalty here. Hands in at the play the ball by Alex Walmsley. And Leeds will respond with a shot at goal from Kevin Sinfield to level the scores up.
Well, I expect it from Leeds, because they want to keep this game slowed down as much as possible. He'll want the 2 points, no doubt about it. Brian McDermott, he's made it quite clear as the Leeds coach that forget about the Challenge Cup, that silverware is already in the cabinet. He wants 2 more. League leaders, and of course the big one, he wants the grand final trophy.
5 major finals for Brian McDermott as the Leeds coach, plus a couple of World Club challenges. 5th trophy for him, 5th in the table in the first 2 seasons, 3rd in the table last year. Can he emulate Wigan's Sean Wayne in 2013 when he won the league and cup double in 2014? Sinfield here believes he can level the scores. Kevin Sinfield has got a tremendous record. I think he's scored in 18 consecutive games against the Saints, and make that 19 consecutive games against St Helens. It's 2-all.
Well, Eddie, the lesson from the first 11 or so minutes of this game is you've got to have ball control. It looks like it's greasy down there. We've had a lot of rain today. We've seen a couple of players spill the ball when they're going into the tackle. Remembering how Leeds Rhinos got down here was Kyler Moore trying to come out of his half, didn't put the ball underneath. The minute he went into contact, he spilled it. So I'd say to the players, if there's a message coming out from the coaches, it's hold on to the ball, finish your sets, kick, get to the other end of the field.
Alex Walmsley was claiming there that Ryan Bailey had his arm trapped underneath his arm and wouldn't release him. Again, the referee saw it differently. Percival with the restart, Hardacre underneath it. Here comes Jamie Peacock. Never takes a backward step, does he, Jamie Peacock? He just keeps going and going and going. 36 years young. And Widnes are leading Wigan by 8 points to 0. How about that for a scoreline? Here it's 2 apiece, Leeds and Saints. Well, Saints could be presented with the League Leaders' Shield at the end of tonight if Widnes hang on there. Castleford will have a lot to say about that, of course. If they win all their 3 matches, they could just pick the Saints. McDonnell goes down in a ferocious challenge from Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
Yeah, you talk about the Tigers, Eddie, and when you look at their fixture list, they've probably got the easiest.
Hull looking to knock Hull KR out of the playoff race here. They're ahead by 4 points to 0 as well.
Just getting back to that point that the Tigers, as I say, you know, they look to have had the easiest of the final games, but as you say, anything can happen tonight, and it looks like it's happening at the other grounds as well.
Ohio trying to make a little half break. Bailey had hold of him, and in the end he was finished off. Roby gets the ball to Turner in centre field. Long pass then from Wellens finds Josh Jones. He goes for length off the kick in towards the corner, finds the touchline, does Josh Jones.
Clever kick. Good utilisation. They haven't really been anywhere near the Leeds line to apply any pressure, and as Brian Kahn has already said, it's had plenty of rain today, so it's a little bit slippy out there. Just shove it into the corner, try to force the error.
Is it slumbering along this game, do you think? It's a slow start, isn't it?
Imagine the Leeds Rhinos, they're coming down off the high that you guys have mentioned before the game. They've got to feel their way into it. St Helens, I'm not sure what to expect of them. Phil's right to point out Jordan Turner. He's going to be a key in this game. You just see him, he's dropping some players off, playing little short balls. He's trying to find his way into this game. Lance Ohio's trying to find his way into this game. We haven't yet seen St Helens step up a gear, and they're going to need to, because they're playing against a side that if they hit their gear will post points quickly.
Brian, I made the point that, you know, it surprised me that Saints early in the game went for the 2 points, when really they've got to try to run this Leeds outfit off their feet.
It does look a little bit tentative from Saints.
Ryan Hall goes to the ground on tackle number 4. Final home game of the season for the Rhinos. The traditional lap of honour will follow. They've lost the last 2 in Super League against Bradford and London. Classically, that illustrates the distraction of the Challenge Cup semi-final and the final itself at this late stage of the season. This is Makinson looking to nose himself ahead in the race for the Super League top try charts tonight. Widnes are 14-0 up against Wigan. How about that for a later score? Long way to go, of course. Long way to go, as there is here. We've had 14 minutes of the match, and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook is going nowhere with those 3 round him, but somehow he smuggles the ball away, and Amor picks it up and gets the Saints to the halfway line on the end of tackle number 4.
Well, Nathan Brown will be furious about that, because the problem there is that all his St Helens players weren't looking, and it looks like there's a problem for Bailey. He's caught a little bit of a knocking back play.
I think the reason, Eddie, why we see them kick to the sideline is because everybody who's watched Leeds players this year know that the fullback and 2 wingers on kick returns can kill you. They can score from anywhere. If they don't score, they make a half break, find a quick play of the ball, and you're on the back foot for the next 60 seconds. So finding the sideline is a tactic that a lot of teams have tried. Not as many have executed as well as St Helens so far in this game. Finding the sidelines with the kicks and a controlled restart. Might not have this fluency and speed of games that we like to watch, but it's suiting St Helens right now.
Well, those tactics were so effective for Leeds at Wembley last week. It really was a coaching masterclass from Brian McDermott, and his players carried out the instructions and the game plan to perfection. They weren't worried that the final wasn't the classic many people were predicting, and whoever wins this tonight, I suppose, won't be too concerned that it might not be a classic. A win is a win at this stage of the season, and that's the most important thing.
When it comes to the business end, you do the best you can do, and that is to just slow it down. It's not about entertainment, it's all about that WIN. So important. Good play, though.
Yes, Watkins trying to go on the outside. Turner and Wellens saw to it that he wouldn't. Briscoe was the dummy half. Sinfield skips away from the would-be challenge all the way down the line, bounces high. McDonnell will bring it back. Ex-Hull and Hull Kingston Rovers. He didn't play under Lee Radford this year. He was released as a free agent, and he was gobbled up by St Helens, and with all their injury problems, I bet now that they're glad that they did, he's He's set for a long run in the side towards the end of the season.
He was lucky there, Eddie. I thought Shannon McDonald dropped the ball when he was getting up to play it. Not seen by the official. It looked to me just a little drop.
Here's a penalty for St Helens. Nabla, he just couldn't resist, could he? He found his hand was on the ball and he just whipped it away.
Yeah, just a little bit of a nudge for it.
That's a tragedy for Leeds, because I think their defensive line speed last week in the cup final helped them to win the match and was helping them to win some momentum and control here of this game. They were moving up really quick, controlling St Helens, who were finding it hard to get out to their own half. But that's now a lift here, up and over the halfway line, and then a position to attack.
Saints have got a tremendous run of success on this ground. They haven't got a bad run of success at the grand final either, or getting to the grand final. And these two have met at the grand final many times before, and there's all the information that you might need if you're interested in grand final night at Old Trafford on the 11th of October. We kick off at 6. The phone number and the website of Super League Europe and the Rugby Football League.
Well, again, another mistake by St Helens. Nathan Brown, the coach, won't be happy with that. On that occasion, it was Kyle Amor. And they are just frittering away the opportunity. See the big fella, the big prop forward, didn't handle it right.
Can't believe, by the way, that we're just 6 weeks away from a grand final, can you? It's flown by.
Certainly there's always a problem there for one of the Saints players. Can't see who it is. I think it's Percival, it is. He's slowly getting back into the defensive line.
Well, here is Sutcliffe, and Sutcliffe finds Sinfield, and they just went in front of Delaney, but Watkins is there to pick up the pieces. We're on the last, so he puts in the up and under, and it's claimed by Shannon McDonald. And what's more, St Helens get the penalty because players are offside, but they're saying that Watkins was the man who put the kick in, and he had then put them all onside.
Which, of course, he doesn't, because if they're within the 10 metres to start with, they can never be put onside, and you can see they're clearly in front when Watkins comes through. So they cannot be placed onside. It's the right decision.
Spot on. Jamie Jones-Buchanan knew it. He'd encroached the 10 metres.
And there was a bit of a schmozzle going on behind all of that.
There's no love lost between these two sides.
I was going to say that there is history, isn't there, between Leeds and Saints?
My word, it's a real crunch game. And St Helens realise they can virtually, okay, if they win tonight, it's only really Castleford if Wigan lose.
Well, with that scoreline at Wigan, it will only be Castleford left if it stays that way.
Long way to go, Eddie.
Yes, if it stays that way.
Take a breath.
Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook on tackle number 2 on halfway. Mossy Massoy is out there. Roby gets the ball away to Amor. Scrambling defence again by Leeds. Aiton was hanging on to his shirt tail, finished off by Delaney. Massoy again with a little break. He's looking to offload to Roby, couldn't get the ball free. Roby then in the dummy half.
Good tackle by Paul Aiton, it had to be as well. You can't allow this guy to run the game. He's running from dummy half. They've got to, the first and second markers have got to improve.
Last one here, that's why the kick's gone in from Jordan Turner. Hardacre got to it, he evaded 2, he evaded 3. He's not evaded 4. Mossy Massoy saw to it he wasn't going to make a 100-metre try. 10-0 the KC to LFC.
Disappointed defence from St Helens on that occasion as the rain falls here in Headingley, but very promising in attack. 2 brilliant ruck plays in and around the ruck. Mossy Massoy turned back on the inside, starting to throw some questions at this Leeds Rhinos defence, but they'll be disappointed with letting Zach Hardacre out so easily.
Great roar from the South Standers. Richard Silverwood's blown a penalty in Leeds' favour.
Well, they could have received one a little bit earlier as well, because it looked to me as though Mossy Massoy got a little bit of a knee there in the previous tackle. Wasn't seen by the officials, but this is manna from heaven for the Rhinos.
Don't know why the South Standers are cheering so ironically. As you just saw there, it's 3-2 on the penalty count to Leeds. However, this is Aiton, and he finds Sutcliffe. The ball goes infield to Jamie Jones-Buchanan, as Brian Carney, the weatherman, so rightly says. It is teeming down at Headingley as Delaney takes it forward once more for the Rhinos. Well, this is grand final conditions, isn't it, traditionally?
It certainly is, Eddie, and it really should suit St Helens. We mentioned before the game that they've got the big forwards. That's a loose pass. He's done well, though, hasn't he, Ryan Hall?
He has, and he's running laterally. Will he straighten it up now? Yes, he does. Baymore and Frankie, the men to bring him down, and Aiton wants to get on with it quickly. Comes down the short side and finds Jamie Peacock. JP for the line! Just held up short. Struggling to get to his feet. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook in there. And there's a try for Bailey, is there? No, there isn't.
Close. In a good position there. Richard Silver would have to be. Bailey thought it snuck in, it spun around, and it's close there. No way.
Brilliant tackle. That is outstanding defence, isn't it? You thought Peacock was through on the previous play. They held him just short. And then to hold up Ryan Bailey as well there. Was it Shannon McDonald who did most of the work? Do you know what? We've had a rather slowish, I suppose, first 20 minutes. But you would have to say territorially, Leeds into back control. Have they lost the ball?
Yeah,
this will just give them even more territory.
I'd like to see the tackle again, or the would-be tackle from Joel Moon. Looks like there was nothing wrong with it. I thought for a moment there might have been a shoulder charge there. Stuart, what say you?
Well, that's what Richard Silver has just asked the video referee, Ben Thaler, to have a look at that, if there was a shoulder charge. It's very difficult to see. I don't think it was an impact on the ground. Well, that's where it is.
It's impact on the chin.
Yeah. Shoulder charge, yeah. Straight to the head. This could be an interesting decision for the officials.
Is it the elbow?
It certainly doesn't knock on at the end of that.
No, it's the left shoulder.
He never got the arm up at all, did he?
Well, what's the decision there, Stuart? What does the referee do? You get a clear look at that.
If he gets a clear look at that, that's a dismissal. It's direct contact to the head.
And Brian McDermott knows there's a problem maybe here.
I agree with Stuart. This could be a red card.
Well, the moment the tackle, and I put that word in inverted commas, the moment the tackle went in, I had a big doubt in my mind. Bump, there it is, and straight to the chin.
Well, we'll see it better in slow motion. Oh, right into the face, yeah, onto the chin.
He hasn't dipped or anything, and I'm talking about personal. There's no dip. There's very few mitigating circumstances there to try and...
I think he'll go for the red.
He's gone to the pocket, and it is red. Joel Moon is sent off at Headingley. It's the second time in successive matches we've been here at Headingley, and we've seen red produced. It was Kevin Sinfield last time, of course, remarkably, and tonight Brian McDermott immediately made his way down to the sideline, and Joel Moon, because it was a shoulder charge and it made direct contact with the head, he is off the field.
And I think you could see quite clearly that Brian McDermott went straight through, and Percival, it looked as though he's been assisted off the field of play.
Yes, Percival is being taken off by the medical team, and I think I'm right in saying, Stuart, because it's a foul play, that doesn't count on the interchange.
No, they get a free interchange for that, and I've got to say well done to Richard Silverwood, who's stood up and made a decision on the field that it's going to affect this game. It's St Helens that are going to get the benefit, and maybe some of the teams afterwards, but certainly St Helens in this case.
Can you explain how that happened? Because didn't he initially give a knock-on, the referee?
He's given a knock-on. He's asked the video referee to have a look at the incident to see where the contact was, and that's how it's all changed around. He's led it from the field. It's not the video referee that's come straight in. He's asked for the information on the field, and that's how it should work.
So Richard Silverwood gets a tick in the box, but Joel Moon doesn't. He's off the field, red carded, and that might have repercussions for the run-in for the Rhinos. This is Roby meanwhile.
Oh, nearly got away. Good tackle from Bailey. It had to be. Now Nathan Brown has got to get a message out to his players. Okay, they've got one-man advantage, but don't get too excited. Forget about the incident. Get on with your plan.
Well, the moment that Joel Moon was given the red card and left the field, Leeds' remaining players went into a huddle for a speech from Kevin Sinfield, the skipper. It's an uphill battle for them now. There's no doubt about that. They have to play almost an hour with 12 men. Here is Wellens. Jordan Turner will hoist this high.
Oh, it's a cracker.
And Ryan Hall's underneath it and claims it perfectly under pressure.
And look who made the tackle. It's Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, who's been standing out in this right centre position since Percival's gone off the field. I'm thinking it's going to be between him and Mark Flanagan, but Louis McCarthy at the moment, well, he's actually defending on the wing.
Well, they have a problem with the Saints with goal kicking now, because Percival has been the marksman. Wellens can kick a few, can't he, from memory, and Ohio can, of course. Anyway, the game has suddenly come to life on the back of some controversy with the red card as Watkins goes down on halfway. Here is Sinfield into open space, but that space was, I'm say, quickly filled by Tommy Makinson. He has to let it bounce, though. Will run this back from his own goal line, makes 10 metres progress before he's collared by Paul Ayton.
Good kick, good chase, still getting into each other. This is important now for Leeds to keep St Helens down in their own quarter. But they've got to forget about the incident. It's not a repayment job.
And St Helens have brought some of the big guns in off the bench. That's Mark Flanagan. I noticed Sia Soliola's out there. We know, of course, that Mossy Masoi is out there too. But Saints have here reached the last tackle, this set of 6. And Ohio will spin it inside to Turner, and Turner then to Wellens, and then he finds LaFranchi, but it's a forward pass to Shannon McDonald.
He got it right as well. You could see the way that the arms were running across. And McDonald just held it back a little bit too late, quite clearly. Not much in it. Didn't like it.
Well, LaFranchi's pass, Shannon McDonald thought he was on the way. He got 2 tries a couple of weeks ago against Wakefield on his debut, so he thought he was on the way to try number 3 in St Helens colours.
Not surprisingly, with Leeds down to 12 men, that they're keeping the ball alive, trying to get it, swing it out wide. The link is pretty prominent.
Sinfield. Watkins, good hit by Paul Wellens. He is the man who's made more appearances in Super League than anyone else. Paul Wellens, 430 tonight. Ablett gets away from Ohio, but he can't get away from Louis McCarthy's guard. But that ball was lost, says Louis McCarthy, and he and Ablett are having a discussion about it. Peacock dumps the ball down. They're keeping it alive here with Hardacre. Hardacre gets it away. It's hit the ground again. Flicked off the ground brilliantly by Sinfield to Delaney. Well, it's amazing that the red card has set this game alight, and the referee has wiped the tackle count down as well. So 6 to go for Leeds with Kylie Luluai and Ayton and Peacock. Oh, and then it found Josh Jones. It's going to be 6 to go again. Josh Jones got to it, knocked it forward. 6 more for Leeds.
Can't believe it. The centre Jones had it. Then for some unknown reason, just lost control of it. Peacock take it through.
It's a Rhinos siege on the St Helens line at the moment.
Sutcliffe is screaming for the ball. He wants to keep your eye on Zach Hardacre. They'll take the 2. They'll take the 2 here. Don't worry about that.
But they will if previous decisions or anything to go by, and he signalled the referee, and Brian McDermott, I think, has told them, let's have the 2 points.
You think St Helens will be happy though there? I think they only concede 2 points with all that pressure and get away from their own try line. It was a surge.
Peacock was holding him there by the arm. It was a little bit of holding hands by Jamie Peacock on James Roby.
No, I think the referee had already blown for the penalty.
Oh, I'm not so sure.
No, he was all over it. He made no attempt, did he, James Roby? We just sort of flopped on top of him. Yeah, he certainly was quick to hold the hooker's hand. There you go. Can't get up, mate.
I don't think they're good friends. Maybe they are.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that.
Field,
yeah,
off the field.
Of course they are. They're all happy, merry, and wonderful on the field of play. They'll knock 7 balls out of each other.
Kevin Sinfield then with the opportunity to nudge the Rhinos ahead. Doesn't miss these. Sinfield hasn't missed that one. So the Rhinos lead. Saints 2, Leeds 4.
Eddie, for any Leeds Rhinos fans out there watching this game around the country, the last time they had a man sent off, you remember, was Kevin Sinfield, of course. They drew that game. Before that, they had a man sent off, Ryan Bailey, away against the Catalan Dragons. We know what a tough fixture that is, and they won at 27 points to 12. Do not rule this side out when they're down to 12 men.
Oh no, they're a champion team. You don't do that. You rule Leeds out at your peril. But they lead here 4-2. And McDonald with the restart. Hardacre underneath it. Here comes Luluai. Straight at Manu, Soliola and Masoi.
It's going to be so important the way that Brian McDermott utilises the likes of Peacock and Tyler Luluai.
Oh, Jem, you'll be out there for 80 minutes, Steve.
Yeah,
don't worry.
But in the final quarter, it's got to take its toll. I mean, we keep saying it just keeps going and going, but you know they played very, very heavy down at Wembley. Got through a lot of hard work.
Good on his feet, and a penalty here for Leeds. Sutcliffe was evasive with the run, but the referee saw something in back play.
Soliola was a late hit on Ayton. That's what he's seen.
Well, the Leeds fans will say that's a shoulder charge as well.
I think more of a swinging arm, don't you, Stuart?
Yeah, it's a late hit rather than a shoulder charge. He's used his arm, it's late, it's on the body, it's just a penalty.
Didn't take too kindly to it, did Paul Ayton?
And the Leeds fans haven't took kindly to the fact that Soliola gets a ticking off and stays on the field. There was never a chance that that was a red card.
No, but it will not be impressed Nathan Brown.
You get feeling in times like that we don't use the sin bin enough. That's a sin bin. Get him off for 10 minutes.
Wigan begin the fight back. At witness 14-4 now to the Vikings.
I'm with you, Brian, on that, but according to the rules and regulations, you either get sent off or not. I'm with you, we should change it.
Hardacre is grounded by Helens. Sinfield to Delaney. Delaney then hands it on. Here is Tom Briscoe's coming off the wing. Great ball out the back to Luluai. 20 metres away. Luluai is brought to ground. Ayton waiting at the dummy half position. Gets it then to Sinfield. He goes wide to Watkins. Saints very aware of the threat that Watkins poses down that right-hand channel. This is Delaney. They're switching the direction of this attack. Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe gets through one. And Sutcliffe scores for the Rhinos. They switch the play from right to left. And Liam Sutcliffe. Remember, this young man was out on loan at Bradford this year. He made his debut in a 22-30 home defeat by St Helens in May of last year. And he's just scored the first try of the night. And it was a beauty from the young 19-year-old.
Well, it all came about Soliola, the late hit on Paul Ayton. And it gets them at least 45 metres downfield. Well, we were wondering when the youngster Liam Sutcliffe would stand up to the plate and show his skill. We know he's got it there. It's a matter of whether he can just say, I'm going to utilise it, and boy, this was it. It looked as though maybe the pass was going to go over the top, but he picked it, he stepped it, he threw the dummy, and the result is a 4 points for the Rhinos.
Yeah, shuffling the ball across, Steve, and he's just stepped Louis McCarthy-Scarsburg, defending very wide for a big man. You see, St Helens would have been very comfortable as this pass was going sideways. It needed somebody to straighten it up. Sutcliffe did it, off his left, off his right, and dived over. It's a great result. Not just that he scored a try, but somebody who's asked to step up and play in the halves has got himself a confidence booster.
Yes, it was rather like a goalkeeper's take as well from Liam Sutcliffe. Caught it way above his head. Shimmied his way to the line. Sinfield out to the extras. And the 12 men of Leeds have control. They're 10 points to 2 ahead.
Well, it's amazing. I think way back there that it was Liam Sutcliffe at his debut against St Helens, but this is sheer quality. These Rhino fans have been waiting and wanting this guy to ask the question, and boy, he just did that.
It's an absolutely crazy decision, Mike, if we just trace it back. To see a Soliola's late tackle on Paul Ayton, I can't imagine what he was thinking. He's not tired, it wasn't a late tackle because of any fatigue. He came on as a substitute. It's an appalling mistake, but he's got a chance here to make up for it.
He's a forward.
That's a forward talking to a former forward as well, by the way. I was going to say they're all forwards, but Brian Carney just played like a forward.
And we all made mistakes, and I got sent off a few times, so I can't complain against that. But at this point in the game, it was a poor error from a really good player.
The Saints are aiming for a 4th consecutive weekly round win here at Headingley. Yet they've lost to Leeds in each of the last 2 visits, strangely. It was in the playoffs here last September. They lost 11-10. It was a classic. And then they lost in the cup tie in April of this year. So in Super League it's been pretty good hunting ground for Saints, not so in the playoffs and the Challenge Cup.
It's an important kick, this. Make sure that's it, plenty of height.
Soliola's again involved in that. It was a kick from Hardacre. He went for the legs, did Soliola. He got there, but he was a fraction late, and it's drawn the attention of the crowd, if not the referee.
And not the touch judge either. Oh, that looked a bit high from Paul Ayton.
I don't think there was much in this, was there, Stuart?
Well,
he was committed, wasn't he?
He's committed, and he's tried to tackle him. I think that's probably his saving grace.
Well, as somebody once said, he got there as quick as he could.
And the Leeds defenders are getting there as quick as they could. I think, again, there's nothing wrong with that.
His legs were in the air, but he was
it's hard for him to pull out.
He was committed to the tackle.
He doesn't know what sort of kicking style he's going to come up with at the end. That'd be harsh to punish him on that occasion.
Yeah, but the rule states, doesn't it, quite clearly, you know, if you make contact with a man who's mid-air, it should be a penalty.
That's only when there's somebody trying to catch the ball, not when somebody's actually kicking it. It's more about the position you put him in and whether the tackle is dangerous in that case. And I think the fact that he went with his arms around him has saved him on that case.
Well, Josh Jones now has given away a silly penalty as well, because
it's a nightmare.
He tried to straddle Tom Briscoe, and Briscoe was trying to get up to his feet. Just watch this.
Yeah, he tried to hold him down as much as he can. Look, it states quite clearly, once you've completed the tackle, you roll away. You don't go over the top of a man.
But Tom Briscoe is also very clever in that case, because he's actually rolled forward and caused that incident and got the penalty.
And I said before, it's a nightmare for the coach, Nathan Brown. They get the one-man advantage, and from that moment on, they're giving away 2 silly penalties.
Well, whatever was said in the conference in the middle of the field when the Leeds man was being sent off, Joel Moon, whatever was said has worked wonders for them, because they're playing really well at the moment, the Rhinos, and Saints are well, they're struggling to get into this match for one reason or another.
It wouldn't be a bad idea if the Saints had got themselves into a little bit of a huddle and said, hey, come on, let's stop giving silly penalties away.
We often find that 12-men teams try harder than 13 men, and that's what we've found since he was sent off, almost 15 minutes ago. They've got a great chance here to attack, and shows what their outside backs can do. Chip over the top. By
Sinfield, looking for the speedster Briscoe, but Dawson is able to let that ball just skip its way over the sideline.
That was a tremendous,
get the scrum.
Tremendous kick. This is what it's all about, utilising your brains, and we all know that the skipper Kevin Sinfield have got plenty of that.
Kevin Sinfield's kick, the number 13 for the Leeds Rhinos, brilliant. There's a number 13 on the field for St Helens, Willie Manu. This could be the man, Eddie, to break the game open for St Helens. Rated by many players in Super League as the strongest they've ever come up against. It's like playing against an overage kid, they said, when you're under 9s and he's under 15s. Incredibly strong, great offload, and St Helens will look to play off him.
Yes, and he scored their 2 tries here and that playoff defeat last year. He almost got them, the Leeds Rhinos, on that night, but it was Danny Maguire's drop goal, if I remember rightly, that won the match. Here goes Makinson meanwhile. Makinson has got pace, and Makinson just touched at the right moment by Ryan Hall, but what a break from Tommy Makinson. McDonnell is the man at dummy half. Here is Lance O'Hire. They're stretched out wide on the left of the Saints. Turner couldn't get the ball out there. Jamie Jones Buchanan sorted out, and here's a penalty for Saints for Leeds being offside at that play the ball.
Yeah, never had any opportunity to get back to full 10, but Makinson's break, absolutely fantastic. Good work by Zach Hardacre, though. Put himself, he made it, force him back inside so that Ryan Hall could get to him in the end.
Four minutes to half-time, and here is Mark Flanagan. 12th consecutive appearance. He plays the ball to Roby. Roby then finds Turner. Turner gets the pass away. Here's that man, Manu. Here's Willie Manu. It's a penalty for obstruction.
Well, it looked as though Manu was just going to skip his way through. Great step, and you can see there, utilises the man that's gone through. There's no doubt in anybody's mind that that is obstruction. Neat footwork. Jamie Peacock, well, he sort of got near to him. but you can see that Ayton has been prevented from getting anywhere. What a relieving
Paul
kick
Ayton
that
did
is.
very well there, actually. Paul Ayton made the tackle on the runner, and that forced the issue. He did really well there, Paul Ayton. It forced the referee into a decision. Third match, Saturday night, 5 o'clock. You've got to press your red button and tune into Sky Sports 4 for this. Catalan Dragons against London. Yeah, don't press the button first before you tune in. Sky Sports 4, red button, Catalan London, London looking for 2 wins in a row.
Well, the writing's on the wall as far as St Helens is concerned. Remember the run from Makinson. Remember that Saints have got the one-man advantage. They've got to swing it out wide. Forget about going down the middle. Get the link working as much as you can.
Here's Hardacre, finds Sinfield in centre field. Sinfield gets the pass away to Ablett. Always gives you your money's worth, does Carl Ablett.
Yeah,
100%er, isn't he?
Yeah, loves running down this left-hand side.
Holkear's chance of playoffs disappearing. Oh, hang on. McDonald was nearly caught by Ryan Hall.
Yeah, it took a wicked bounce, didn't it? Neat little dribble through, though, and you can see he got it. Did he get a fingertip to it? Just. This should be the dropout underneath. Good work by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. You don't normally see the forward utilise the kicking game, but it nearly came off.
So goal line dropout it is, and Alex Walmsley, by the looks of things, needs a few running repairs. It's been that sort of night, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a tough encounter, but
Leeds will be delighted, won't they?
Yeah,
I mean, they won't be delighted to be 12 men on one side against 13 on the other, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, St Helens have got to change their tactics. We knew that they were going to come down the middle with the big forwards. We mentioned that they got 4 huge men on the bench. They brought them on, trying to utilise them. But the Leeds defence, as we've seen throughout this season, it's been wonderful. They just scramble back time and time again.
2 minutes to half-time. Peacock on the ball. Will play it to Ayton. He'll give it to Sinfield. Sinfield then to Sutcliffe. Oh, he loses it backwards, though, does he? It was stolen.
They'll take
It
the
was
2.
stripped.
Here's another 2 coming up. 2 extra points and a lot of seconds off the clock.
Oh, it's Lance O'Hire. I thought it was
Stripped.
Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook had been pinged by the referee, but Lance O'Hire, I mean, that was as obvious as
Yeah.
the day is long.
I mean, my eyes aren't all that good, but I saw it.
Well, he did on the third look.
Well, I think if this goes over, it's a fair reflection of what we've seen for 40 minutes. Leeds have been about 10 points better than their opponents. They've controlled where the game's been played. They've looked more dangerous, even with 12 men, for the almost the last 20 minutes.
You're
really,
right.
really impressive. They deserve to win. And I think when you talked about St Helens trying to do something different and attacking a different style, you've got to remember they're a little bit limited because Luke Walsh, the main organiser for all the attacking play, isn't playing tonight, won't play this season. So halfway through a season, to lose your most creative organiser from his side does change and limit what St Helens can do.
I agree, Phil, but you know, you've got the likes of Lance O'Hire out there. Okay, Wellens normally a full-back, but Lance O'Hire has got to make sure he gets the link working. We know what Jones can do, and we know what Wilkinson can do.
And we know what Sinfield can do. He'll kick those all night. And the Leeds Rhinos are ahead by 12 points to 2 as we approach half-time. Only won 2 of the last 5 at home. One of those against Catalan was a 32-31 squeak. Liam Sutcliffe's drop goal in the final seconds won it. And there's the final seconds of the first half evaporating. And we turn round with Leeds down to 12 men, but with 12 points on the board. Percival with the opening score, a penalty after 5 minutes. He was then involved in the incident with Joel Moon that saw him being sent off. Moon, that is, for a shoulder charge direct to the head. And since then, well, Sinfield had levelled the scores just before that incident. Then we got another Sinfield penalty. Sutcliffe's try and another Sinfield penalty. 12-2 to the Challenge Cup holders at half-time.
Has he got downward pressure?
I think so.
Sky Sports, your home of sport. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
We're always late and it's always down to you.
Your dad won't even notice. Oh, come on.
Leave it.
Forgive him, he's an idiot.
The Ford Fiesta featuring Sync with Text Reader to help you go further.
Get extra in the Bath Store sale. Extra design and inspiration. Extra quality and expert fitting too. Plus an extra 10% off. Don't miss out.
Can you feel that? That's great football odds and more ways to bet with Betfred. That's unique coupons, top offers and in-play betting. If you love football, you'll love a bit of Betfred.
They call me Help. They call me Stacy. That's not my name. They call me Craig. They call me
Still can't find your name? Buy your own personalised glass bottles now at mycoca-cola.co.uk.
So can this lot tell the difference between Walker's cheesy beans on toast flavour crisps and the real thing?
These are the crisps. Definitely.
Try all 6 Do Us a Flavour finalists and vote for your favourite.
With age, we get better at lots of things. We take more risks. In a word, we improve.
Vitala 5 from L'Oréal Paris. 1 step, 5 actions to target wrinkles, firmness, dryness and discomfort.
Skin feels smoother, firmer and looks revitalized.
Vitala 5 from L'Oréal Paris Men Expert.
Quality.
Great price. Quality. 3 years interest-free credit.
Quality.
Free delivery?
In Oak Furnitureland's end of August sale, you could furnish an entire room with solid hardwood furniture for just £49 per month.
Quality.
I'm gonna knock on wood.
The next big idea from Sky Sports is here. 2 years free Sky Broadband Unlimited for our Sky Sports customers. With our new channel, Sky Sports 5, your home of European football, including the UEFA Champions League, plus our totally unlimited broadband. So, don't miss our best ever offer. 2 years free Sky Broadband Unlimited when you activate Sky Sports 5, part of your sports package. Go to sky.com/2 years free or call 08442 410 300. Sky. Believe in better. Available to rent now in Sky Store.
For as long as I can remember, I just wanted to do what was right. Guess I'm not quite sure what that is anymore.
S.H.I.E.L.D. takes the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
To build a really better world sometimes means having to tear the old one down.
Society's at a tipping point between order and chaos.
Looks like you're giving the orders now, Captain.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Available to rent now in Sky Store.
Has he got downward pressure?
I think so.
Sky Sports News has been transformed. A new studio, new name, and even more news and analysis. Welcome to Sky Sports News HQ. We'll continue to bring you all the latest breaking news first, as well as analysis and insight from all the big names at the heart of the stories. And of course, continue to be your home of rugby league news. Catch the best of the weekend Super League action along with regular guests and interviews available on all platforms. Sky Sports News HQ, your home of rugby league news.
Yes, Steve-O and Barry very comfy on the sofa at Sky Sports News HQ, and that's the place to catch your Super League news first 7 days a week. And I'm sure that they'll be talking about this. Leeds Rhinos down to 12 men. Joel Moon sent off. They lead the league leaders of the First Utility Super League, St Helens, by 12 points to 2. Well, they've won 4 of the meetings against Saints when it has really mattered. 4 grand finals, 2007, 8, 9, repeating the feat again in 2011. But overall, the Saints have the better record in Super League. They've won 29 to Leeds' 25, and Saints have won 6 of the last 7 in Super League since 2011. But despite the fact that they have the one-man extra, Nathan Brown's men have got it all on in the second half. Let's get the half-time analysis. The boys are waiting for us at the touchscreen. Brian and John.
Yeah, thanks very much. They have it all to do because they're playing the Leeds Rhinos and they're playing them here at Headingley. We know what a formidable task that is. First 3 scores came from penalties. Perhaps a little surprising, John, but maybe suggestion from both of those sides that they thought defences might be on top tonight.
And they're having a lot to do because they're not playing well. Let's be honest about that. And it did surprise me. You talk about that penalties. It did surprise me that St Helens actually went for goal very early on. They've had the week off. Leeds have come back from Wembley. You would have thought that they would have wanted to take the game to them. Looked hardly anything like that. Very cagey opening quarter, as we say, 2 points apiece after 20 minutes. Down to some good defence. I mean, this why we like Zach Hardaker so much. Great footwork enables him to beat the first 2 or 3 guys, and then that extra 10 or 15 metres, that's really, really valuable for the Leeds Rhinos, particularly in the context of what's happened in the last week to 10 days. And where they find themselves in terms of energy levels today. Although that being said, they look pretty good, don't they, for the opening 40. Flip side, you give a bit of credit to Saints here. Shannon McDonald 38, and then look at Mossy Massoy just jumping in to stop what would have been a certain try for Ryan Bailey there, and that kept the scores even, didn't it? And we were waiting for something out of the ordinary to spark this game up.
We had something out of the ordinary then, because one of the cleanest, one of the best attacking players in the competition, Joel Moon, the left centre for the Leeds Rhinos, sent from the field. Your thoughts on that, John?
No question. Absolute cut and dry incident. You see the point where the elbow connects with the head, the shoulder connects with the head. It's the shoulder charge, the arm's down. There's no attempt to make a tackle. Great decision by Richard Silverwood. No questions to be asked. I dare say there'll be no complaints either from Joel Moon.
Yeah, well, we said the Leeds Rhinos, they have done it before in the south of France with a man down. They have won the game. They are a champion side. It doesn't rule them out just going down a man. They're throwing plenty at St Helens, and it's got them a reward, got them a try. They're certainly stretching them out wide. Yeah,
I think Leeds are in the box seat. I think they played the better rugby with 12 men and with 13 men. Got an example to show you here. This is where I think they're really dangerous. Midfield, very, very good at getting to this edge of the field here when they're going from left to right. They've done it a couple of times.
Is that trying to target a person or just an area?
Probably a bit of both, because 2 really good attacking players in Zach Hardaker and Callum Watkins, they link up and they can get those players together with a bit of space in front of them. They're very dangerous individuals with the ball. Again, that area of the field, I don't think is a particular weakness in St Helens. They do it against every team. That's left to right, that's the favoured side. They do, however, and this was with 12 men, get from right to left. And there's something in this that'll take us into our next little piece of footage, which is the try. Have a look at Sutcliffe here. Starts on the inside of Helens, just gets to the outside of him. Lovely little subtle move that. And I think it's something that the footwork and the Leeds Rhinos work on.
And importantly, you've got Louis McCarthy-Scarisbrook defending out very
playing
wide.
in the centres now because of Mark Percival's withdrawal. Again, have a look at this. Just going to show you 3/4 pace. And it's just getting on the outside of play. Starts on the inside of Manu, on the outside. Gets on the inside of Massoy, gets to the outside. Starts on the inside of Flanagan, gets to the outside. And that gets Louis McCarthy-Scarisbrook running, lost his feet, lost his hips, and gives the opportunity to Liam Sutcliffe to get over and take the lead. A very well-deserved lead as well.
And that late Kevin Sinfield penalty make it 12 points to 2 in favour of Leeds Rhinos at half-time, where it got a second half to look forward to now in this game.
Yes, we have. We have an interesting second half. There's no doubt about that. You might remember they won the first 8 of 2014, the Saints. Then they lost 2 in a row against Wigan and Widnes at Easter. They went out of the Cup here in April. 3 defeats that drew a real icy blast from chairman Eamon McManus. Of course, they had all their stars on show then. There are a few missing tonight, but for all of that, Saints are playing with a man more than Leeds, but they still trail at half-time.
Looks like a job for the old magic sponge.
So, what do you think?
I like it.
Yeah, I know, but they've been making parachutes for over 50 years.
What about this one?
It's not as rigorously tested. The stitching isn't as good, but, you know.
As long as it does the job, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Cheers.
Tell you what, why don't I throw in this little beauty too?
Obviously. Get in.
Come on.
The Trainline.com app can save you 43% on average on train tickets. But it can't save you from the affections of Granny's Little Precious. It can't save you if you get locked out of your car on match day. Or from one of those IT problems. And obviously it's not going to save you from the jump from 10,000 feet without a parachute. The Trainline.com app. Brilliant for train stuff. Rubbish for anything else.
This room is amazing. It must have cost you a fortune.
It didn't. But I'm happy for you to think that it did.
Book last minute for amazing deals on London's 4- and 5-star hotels. Love living, lastminute.com.
Sport. We all talk about it, but I get to live it. I get the VIPs from A to B.
All right, Frank.
Is this the closest you get to sport? No, that's Betway. Live streaming, live odds, bet in play. Because whatever you think you know, right now, anything could happen.
With a free bet worth up to £50. Live sport, bet your way at betway.com.
The next big idea from Sky Sports is here. 2 years free Sky Broadband Unlimited for our Sky Sports customers. With our new channel, Sky Sports 5, your home of European football, including the UEFA Champions League, plus our totally unlimited broadband. So, don't miss our best ever offer. 2 years free Sky Broadband Unlimited when you activate Sky Sports 5, part of your sports package. Go to sky.com/2 years free or call 08442 410 300. Sky. Believe in better.
I'll take one.
Yeah. 50 ways to kill your mammy. And I'm the mammy.
How would you describe the show to someone? What would you say it's about?
It's the relationship between a son and a mother.
She's going She's going to fall. I'm falling. I'm falling. You won't fall.
And I enjoyed every minute of it. Nearly every minute of it.
Atta girl! The brand new series, 50 Ways to Kill Your Mammy. Monday at 9 on Sky 1 HD.
Sky Sports, your home of sport. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
Looks like a job for the old magic sponge.
This Super League Friday coming up next week. Thursday, Saints Warrington, and next Friday, Leeds are at Wigan. 7:30 both nights. Sky Sports 1 again. Right, let's take a look at the statistics from the first half here at Headingley. Here's Phil.
You can't score in rugby league if you don't have the ball, and Leeds have had plenty of it. Look, 76 play the balls, and 17, those 3 boxes on the left-hand side, close to opponent's try line. Let's turn it over and have a look at St Helens. What a difference we're going to see here with St Helens in their possession. 26 play the balls less than their opponents, significantly. Just 5 close to the opposition's try line. Territory they've been hammered in this game so far.
Hammered territorially and behind on the scoreboard as well. It's 12-2 to Leeds Rhinos at half-time. What words of wisdom have been coming from the mouth of Nathan Brown for the Saints, and I wonder what Brian McDermott was saying in the dressing room for the Leeds Rhinos. Saints have won 4 of the last 5, to be fair, but they haven't faced any of the top 7 since a 16-12 victory at Wigan in June. They've got Warrington and Huddersfield to come. Warrington next week at home, Huddersfield away to come. Leeds 2 away games at Wigan next week, and Hull away to round up their weekly round matches. Everyone chasing down the league leaders, the Saints, and at half-time there will be rejoicing around the country, because if Saints lose this, they are well in everybody's sights to try and claim that league leaders' shield. Paul Scholes here, the former Manchester United and England star, big fan of the Super League.
Well, it's important now that the talk by Nathan Brown to St Helens will change the tactics. We mentioned just before the break that the importance of Lance O'Hyatt and Paul Wellens in getting that sort of good service out of the 3 quarters. We know that Josh Jones and, of course, the speed of Tommy Makinson, as we saw on one break just before the half-time hooter went. And they really have got to try to make sure they get that link working, but it's going to be difficult against this Leeds defence, despite the fact they're down to 12.
Paul Scholes here, by the way, probably because he's a big pal of Kevin Sinfield, the Leeds captain. They both hail from the town of Oldham, and Kevin, I know, presented Paul Scholes with an award in the town just recently. And Widnes are 20 points to 10 up against Wigan at the moment. It's a fascinating scoreline, as is this one here. 12-2 to the Rhinos at the start of this second half. And this is Jordan Turner on the last for the Saints. So up it goes into the night air. And Hardaker, well, he lifted the knees, he dropped on the floor, and the moment his boots hit the grass, the centre, Jones, and Jordan Turner were on him.
Yeah, good work by Jones. He made sure that he received the ball first before he made the contact. Hit the ground. It's a neat little kick as well.
Here's Delaney now for the Rhinos.
Discipline is also going to be the key with St Helens. Remember, Leeds had the centre Joel Moon sent off, and for some unknown reason they went into a negative approach where they gave away a silly penalty. That's a good hit from Makinson.
It was, but they still managed to get the ball away. Ryan Hall to Hardaker. Here is Sinfield. Turner's after him. Sinfield pops it up to Watkins. Good tackle by Willie Manu. On the last tackle, it's Sinfield with the kick, spiralling on the ground, collected by McDonnell.
Well, one of St Helens' biggest problems in the first half, they just didn't get close enough to score. I know you can score from anywhere on the field, but it helps if they get closer to the Leeds try line. And look here again, they're sort of going laterally. Maybe they're making some space. They have done with Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. But that's a dangerous play to dice with the touchline like that. He's just about staying on the field.
Surely that should have been a penalty, because surely Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook was held. His elbow and the ball-carrying arm surely had hit the ground.
Well,
I know he was on his way out to the touchline, but...
Well, it was the ball-carrying arm that's key in that, and it looked like that hit the ground.
Oh, he said he's came off the boot. This will get them in a position to get the kick away.
Oh, it's a scrappy pass, but McDonnell gets hold of it for Saints. Trying to take on Watkins, but 3 of them there deal with the threat that McDonnell might pose.
Oh, the fullback's in another position. Hardaker took the gamble, and that's a kick in touch, and a little bit of a wasted opportunity there by Jones.
Yeah, not the best kick from him. Back to this Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook incident there. The tackle is completed.
Should have been a penalty.
Should have been a penalty Leeds way, surely, Stuart, shouldn't it?
That's it. It's the ball-carrying arm that's key. If he's held and the ball-carrying arm's touching the ground, that's a tackle complete. You can't pass the ball after that.
Don't you think we've become a little more in tune with the rule book since we've had Stuart Cummings up here on the gantry with us?
Well, you may have had to follow that lead.
I know that you keep saying that the rule clearly states, so you obviously read the rule book every night before you go to sleep.
Well, we call them rules, but in fact they're laws. Oh, that could be an error. It's knock on. This is a golden chance now for St Helens. Boy, they needed that. Jamie Jones-Buchanan could not just keep hold of it. It was a big hit.
Walmsley and Roby.
And Roby made sure that he got to the ball carrying arm. That is a huge error.
So here's an opportunity for St Helens to strike at the start of this second half.
Well, we're only 4 minutes into it, Eddie, and you can see already that Nathan Brown has obviously got the message out to them. They've had 3 links in the first 4 minutes of this second half, so they know they're trying to keep it out wide.
This is Willie Manu. 18 metres away, plays it to Roby. Walmsley takes the return. Turner gets a good ball away to Mark Flanagan. That's an excellent tackle by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. That looks done for the flop.
Yeah. Professional foul, maybe.
It slows them down. It's a St Helens penalty. There'll be no 2 points coming here. There might be 4. That's what they're after. And here is Soliola. They're inching ever closer to that try line. Oh, another wayward pass from Saints.
They're inching ever closer to their own try line at the moment, and the attack just doesn't have the coordination.
They've gone into reverse, haven't they? This is Manu.
But it wasn't as though that the man was put under pressure either.
Roby and Wellens. Here is Jones again.
And again we see this tight defence. Good work by Tom Briscoe there.
Jordan Turner fires the pass to O'Hire. Dropped the shoulder, gave the dummy away, but Leeds wouldn't take it. Luluwai finishes him off.
Dribble into the in-goal area, surely.
We're on the last. Turner. This is McDonald. This is McDonald! He's still going, and he almost gets there. He almost gets there, McDonald, but he lost the ball.
It was a wonderful effort by the full-back. That really surprised the Leeds defence. Look at this, second effort. 4 Leeds players and then lost control of it. So close, shakes his head in disbelief. But it was a wonderful effort to try to get there. 1 against 4, that's pretty difficult.
This is the view the referee had, and yeah, the ball just came away, didn't it? Good decision from Richard Silverwood.
Well, the Saints have just had their opponents really under the pump for a few minutes here. There's no point waiting till the last 10 minutes and hoping for some magic. This is here now where with the defence they need to fly forward, putting players like Watkins and his teammates under pressure here, forcing an error. But sadly again the Rhinos are marching forward relatively too easy, gaining ground, not on that play. That's it.
They keep the ball alive. Oh, they've got themselves a knock-on here, have the Saints. Quickly, while this scrum forms, down to Graham Beecroft for news.
As far as they're concerned, as far as Leeds are concerned, more of the same is the order. They want to get through the period when they're bound to feel fatigue, hit the wall, in other words. Brian McDermott wants them to fight their way through that and keep working for each other. St Helens, it's bad news for Mark Percival, that head injury that he got. He won't be on the pitch anymore. They've got to, according to Nathan Brown, get down to the other end and put some pressure on, which is obviously what they're trying to do right at this moment, Eddie.
So we won't see Mark Percival again tonight. That's no real surprise.
This is a huge set, Eddie. A huge set in the context of this game. I know there's plenty of time left on the clock, but if St Helens could get themselves over the line, the self-belief would go through the roof. If there was a roof on the stadium.
This is Roby and Turner. Here is O'Hire. McDonald slides the kick in behind to Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall, though, is good at that. He's alert to anything that's coming his way. Hardaker.
And that's one of the beautiful things about Ryan Hall. We know he's sensational in scoring tries in the corner, but he's become so alert over the last 2 seasons. But this is good defence. Peacock, he's going nowhere. Tremendous effort by Ryan Hall.
Delaney, big hit on him.
Discipline is a key now for Saints.
It's Mark Flanagan who got that last tackle in, and there's another big effort in defence from St Helens. And Leeds 20 metres away from their own line. The kick isn't bad from Liam Sutcliffe, but it's going straight into the arms of the fullback McDonald.
That's a great chase as well.
Matty Dawson. Turner. Here they come. Oh, Josh Jones just slipped under the pressure of Luluwai's challenge. Wellens, Turner, and Walmsley.
You can see
them to the 40-metre mark.
You can see Leeds' defence out wide. They're coming in on the angle. They're forcing St Helens into one-out football down the middle. when we keep saying it, and I'll continue trying to get the message out, they should get it out wide.
Roby gets away from a couple, gets away from two more, then gets the ball to O'Hire in centre field. O'Hire spins it to Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Good defence though, but he still slips it to Flanagan. He wasn't closed down. Flanagan, out the back door it goes to Makinson. It was his heroics that won the match at Lantry Park in March, but that's a good challenge by Mitch A. Church. We're at the last tackle again for Saints. It goes high off the boot of Turner. And well claimed by Briscoe. Watkins. Leeds look a very dangerous side with the ball in the hand.
And they're not too bad in that defence and diffusing the high kicks.
Well, the defence for Leeds was the key to their early season form, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the confidence showing there by the winger Tom Briscoe.
Almost through the gap there was A. Church.
Nearly got into the full-back Zach Hardaker.
This meanwhile is Sutcliffe. Good progress made downfield from Leeds here. That ricocheted off of St. Helens' leg. McCarthy Scarsbrook tried to keep it in. Is that an indication that the ball was played by him or by his teammates?
Well, they've ruled that he hasn't played at the ball. They were calling not played at. So it should be a Saints ball if they're ruling that.
It was played at by McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Yeah, even though he turned his back, he could see that the leg was lift.
He touches the line. It was played up by Louis McCarthy. This should be head and feet to Leeds, shouldn't it?
It should be, and I think that's a message that's got out there now.
Well, I've got away with it, and I think the message now, that's the second occasion that Kevin Sinfield has put a low grubber kick in, and it's been sort of diffused or hit by a Saints player, when all he wants to do is put it over the whitewash and right into the far corner. The way their defence is so good, they can compete with St. Helens, whatever they throw at them in their own red zone.
Liam Farrell, I'm told, in the sin bin at Widnes for Wigan. So they've got a bit of work to do still, the Warriors. So have the Saints here, but Leeds coping admirably with what's being thrown at them and what they are throwing at the Saints. This is Liam Sutcliffe. Oh, and he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball, so it's going to be head and feet to Saints, a knock-on ruled against young Liam. And Roby did well, didn't he?
Yeah, did he ever? Roby. Well, the referee was in a pretty good position.
You know, we mentioned Mark Percival, who's been led off the field here with medical occur, and we hope that he's okay. Joel Moon was obviously sent off at that time. For anybody who tuned in and watched last night's game, Rhys Evans, one of the Warrington players, was stretchered off. You might have seen that. It's good news. There's no serious injury, and I know a lot of people tuning in would want to know how he's doing. He's obviously have a bit of a headache, but there's no serious injury, and he's going to be fine.
Oh, that's great news. Great news. Hull KR look as though their playoff ambitions are being extinguished by their nearest and dearest. 16-0 to the Black and Whites. Here comes Mossy Massoy. Gets them to halfway after 3 tackles. Roby to O'Hire. A kick. Well, that's straight at Hardaker.
Not only that, Eddie, they're kicking on the third.
Look at Hardaker. Well, Matty Dawson had seen enough of Hardaker and scrapped him to the ground.
Well, that was weird. Why St. Helens opt to kick on the third tackle is beyond belief. If they'd have put it high and maybe have a bit of a risk, but it was so easy for the fullback to defuse.
We've got 10 points to try and claw back, Steve-O. You're Nathan Brown, you're sitting in the stand.
Sinfield has gone early too on tackle number 3. And is that a 40-20? Is that a 40-20? It is.
Too good. What's the message, Steve-O, you get out to St. Helens now? You're facing against this side that can do that. 40-20 from Kevin Sinfield. You're 10 points down. The clock is going to start ticking closer and closer to 80 minutes. What do you say?
I keep saying it all night. They haven't utilised the link. The combination between Lance O'Hire and Paul Wellens is non-existent. There's the two that's missing tonight. That's the reason why everybody thought Saints had really given him a good hiding, and so perhaps did Nathan Brown.
Well, that was like a long ball from Paul Scholes, wasn't it, at his peak here now. He's put them in an attacking position. Can they put the one in the net here now? They need another score, really. I think they've defended well for 10 minutes on their own line. They're at the other end of the field, and a score at this point, well, that would make life hard for the Saints.
This is Ryan Hall. They know the danger that he poses.
And that's good work as well, to put a winger in there. They know that some of the forwards will tire slightly. So for the wingers to come forward and say, right, I'll take it up.
Church plays the ball to Ayton. Here goes Peacock. I don't think he's been off the field tonight. Jamie Peacock. Ayton's pointing at the sticks. He's trying to send Ryan Bailey there. Oh, Soliola's all over him. That could have been a penalty. Ayton, Sutcliffe slides the kick in, looking for Carl Ablett, only finds Makinson. Makinson runs the ball out. Goal line dropout coming up.
Great little dribble through. Good work by Sutcliffe, but also equal to the task is a winger. Tremendous play from both sides. Love to see young players who have got the ability, have got the confidence, and as you see, Tommy Makinson, he read it superbly. He had to. That was T.R. Whitehead.
Well, this is an example, isn't it, of how St Helens are missing their main kicker. We've seen a 40-20 kick, a kick to trap the opponents in goal. The attacking kicks at the end of plays have been far better for Leeds tonight so far.
Tommy Makinson to the rescue for St Helens, and with Joel Monaghan failing to score last night, an opportunity here for Makinson to go clear at the top of the try-scoring chart, but so far he's had very few opportunities. Here is Bailey, and Ayton waits. Finds Delaney.
Nothing fancy from the Rhinos. Good, solid, hard work with the forwards and utilise the kick. Why not?
Hardacre was fed by Sinfield. Ayton again, they're inching towards that line with Peacock. And Peacock deciding to have a personal battle with Anthony LaFranchi. Peacock gets to his feet. We didn't like that, did he? Something went on there. Here is Sinfield. Back it comes here to Hardacre. Hardacre then to Watkins. Red for danger. Hardacre again. Back it goes to Briscoe. Saints defends, stands firm though. I think Hull Kingston Rovers' playoff ambitions are over. Sinfield to the in-goal area, or almost. It actually was about half a metre the right side of the corner post.
He didn't want the ball to go in there. He's quite happy. The way their defence is working overtime.
And he did this all afternoon at Wembley, didn't he?
Yeah, on that blind side. OK, he did it a few times, but he knows that last week at Wembley it was Maguire and Robbie Barrow that utilised that blind side. And not surprisingly, Kevin Sinfield is doing exactly the same thing.
Well, fewer tipping St Helens to go all the way to Old Trafford. They've missed out the last 2 years, following 6 in a row, of course, on grand final night, 2006, 2011. And that despite the fact that, despite what happens here tonight, they will be top of the table going into the last 2 rounds.
It tells you they got something about them, well, plenty about them as a side, Eddie. They're just not showing enough of it here tonight. Forget about the players that aren't there. There's enough players on this field for St Helens wearing their jersey to do better than this against 12-man Leeds.
Wonderful work by Callum Watkins. And look where St Helens have got to kick the ball. 15 metres within their own half. But that's a good chase. Look at the red and whites. They've got the numbers there. They're putting pressure on Hardacre.
And they get to him in the end with Roby. Ablett now. Higher, turning him.
You know, you get the impression with Leeds, not only without a couple of their stars, but also having played at Wembley, you'd think that they would look tired. Quite frankly, it's the opposition. It's Saints that look a little bit lethargic.
I made the point after we saw them in the homecoming feature we had on Boots and All on Wednesday that they all looked absolutely fresh.
But at this time of the year, they're used to playing week after week. Sometimes having a week's break might not have helped the momentum and flow of the St Helens. Certainly their attack hasn't really fired tonight. Another great kick downfield by Leeds.
Well, Sinfield and off the post pad, which means Makinson has to pick it up behind his own line. Try and run this ball out. Well, Paul Ayton was there with a possible shoulder charge then.
Yeah, looked a bit, and that looked a bit high as well there by Sinfield. Maybe the ricochet, but good solid work again by Brett Delaney. He really works overtime, doesn't he?
Well, there are a few unsung heroes in that Leeds pack. Delaney's one, Ablett's the other. To knock on by St Helens. They're conspiring, I'm afraid, to their own downfall tonight.
Yeah, but that was real heavy defence, and they know it. Make sure the man stopped and then finish him off, and it was Peacock. Bang. Couldn't hang on to it. How on earth does Jamie Peacock keep going on and on and on? I don't know how long after the game he was staying in one of those ice baths. Probably stays there overnight.
Or maybe does the ice bucket challenge every day of the week.
Don't worry, I'll do it.
No, please yourself. It's not as bad as people say, actually. This is Briscoe.
It's for a good charity.
It is. Ayton.
That's a big call.
Did he move off the mark to play the ball, or what was it?
He didn't play the ball correctly.
Well, he's ruled that he hasn't played the ball correctly. He's played it forward accidentally. And again, we saw in the penalty he won earlier, you know, he does tend to move off the mark when he's playing the ball and into the opposition. It didn't go in his favour that time.
Well, that's the second error we've seen in the second half from the winger, Tom Briscoe. Remember, he was the one that offloaded, that allowed Saints to get possession, and he's come up with a mistake again.
The thing that baffles me about those sort of infringements from players, when they actually touch it with the foot, they get the decision going against them. Anyway, 20 minutes remaining. Mossy Massoy, good offloads. Roby, good offload. Good offload. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, another good offload. Great scrambling defence by Briscoe and Sinfield. No way through for Anthony Lafranchi. Here now is the skipper, Wellens. He finds Josh Jones. Jones back into the centre of the field to Roby.
Can they get the link going? The space out wide on the right.
Well, Lancer Hire is there, but he's a bit too close to the mark. Kick through, but this will be easy.
Oh, well, it will be if Hardy can get out of jail, and he doesn't. They get the extra set of 6.
Good work by Flanagan. But he was always going to, a little bit of handbags. Oh, we can do without that.
That's all right, that's what we need. That's what St Helens need.
What,
great effort by them. Not to give a penalty away, but show a bit of fire.
What, blowing him a kiss?
Yeah, fire him up.
Well, that's not fire.
I think he was concerned about the what he was doing with his leg in the tackle. I think he was sort of pushing against it.
Who blew who the kiss? I missed it, Steve-O.
Hardacre blew him a kiss. It's sarcastic. We can do without that.
Scooter from the goal line dropout. Soliola now for St Helens. O'Hire, McCarthy Scarsbrook.
This is where the likes of the fullback Shannon McDonald should be coming on that second phase. You know, utilise the dummy runners. Okay, they're going down the middle now. This is where he's utilised. He should be coming in, McDonald.
They've gone down the right-hand channel. This is Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook sends it over. St Helens get over for a try, a vital try as well. It all came about as a result of a repeat set that they forced, trapping Zach Hardacre in goal, and from the resulting dropout, Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook over for only his 3rd try of the campaign, a try against Wakefield 2 weeks ago as well.
Well, it was a kick that was diffused quite easily by Zach Hardacre. A little bit of handbags after that. Neat pass from Lance O'Hire back on the inside. He's had a big game, you know, as McCarthy Scarsbrook. He's had to play virtually into the centre position since they lost Mark Percival, and he deserved that. He's worked hard.
Well, an angry young man there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think frustrated with how the game's gone, but you've talked about getting the ball wide. Maybe St Helens' plan all along was that in the 60th to 80th minute, if we stay in the middle, there will be holes, because tired defenders cannot fill those holes. And the creative pass, wasn't it, from Ohio back inside?
You're absolutely right. We praise Jamie Peacock because he does huge minutes on the field, Eddie, but he's tired at times. And he got caught out there at marker. Just when you need him to be on the balls of his feet, defending his try line, he got stuck in mud and he turned the ball back on the inside. Jamie wasn't able to get there on that occasion.
Well, there's the answer as to who's going to take the goal kicking. It's Jordan Turner. Tommy Makinson has taken them this year. Oh, and he's missed it as Jordan Turner. Well, 12-6, that would have been 12-8, and who knows what might have happened from then. They still have to score again, the Saints, but they can only level the scores with the next one.
You would have caught a glimpse of Jamie turning right, expecting the ball to go down there. They've gone the other direction, and he's got caught.
Sweet revenge for the Saints.
Yeah, sweet kiss from one player and sweet revenge from the other. But he's had an outstanding game. As McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Just as I talk about Jamie Peacock, he's hauled from the field. So Brian McDermott, perhaps he's not to know, but a couple of minutes too late. Jamie's had enough. He's had a big week, led them down at Wembley to well, an inspirational performance, but 62 minutes, that was enough for him.
Well, he's off. Luluai's on again, but we still haven't seen Brad Singleton or Robbie Ward yet for the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, I think we might see them very, very soon.
They've only had 4 changes, I think.
Yeah, but we'll see them soon because Saints have hit back with a try, so it'll be a different mentality now from Brian McDermott. He knows that quite a few players out there may be just suffering.
Oh, he's gone the way over the line here. Briscoe and Sinfield saw to that. Matty Dawson, there was nowhere other than over the whitewash the young winger was going.
But they were so clever, Eddie. They made sure, Sinfield and Briscoe made sure there was no chance of being dragged, which of course now is against the law.
So fresh legs awaiting their chance on the bench for Leeds, who lead 12-6. Jordan Turner missing the conversion.
Well, you know that I love the 1 point, and I think if Leeds get into any good position, I think you'd have to say that one Kevin Sinfield will have a little go at that.
Well, he tried one, didn't he, when they played at St Helens earlier in the year. 10-all late in the game, but he missed. They're a lot harder than I think people imagine, and with 15 minutes to go, I think they've been more desperate for a try here, Mike.
We'll see. It was Danny Maguire's drop goal that won the playoff here 11-10 last September. We've got a quarter of an hour left of this match here.
One more drive.
Sinfield gives it to Hardaker. Hardaker gives it a bit of space to Sutcliffe. Here is Ablett. Ablett's not going anywhere. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook and Lance Ohio seeing to that. A real entanglement of legs and bodies. Sutcliffe down the short side, leaves Sutcliffe so close. And that's the turnover.
Well, that surprised me they didn't go for the one. That would have been a valuable 1 point.
I do admire Sutcliffe's confidence, though, there, Eddie. When you've got Kevin Sinfield outside, it's the last play. To attempt to try and score, you know, I do admire that. And you won't get things right all the time. He's had a go there, hasn't he? And he's trapped him in the right part of the field anyway.
You're right, he's had a fantastic game. I think that, you know, he's come of age. I said before the match that, remember last week when he had to take the responsibility, a few weeks ago when he had to take the responsibility, he really didn't just justify it, didn't step up to the plate, but he's done that tonight.
Well, it was 14-all at Warrington last night. What price? Our second successive draw live on Sky Sports from the First Utility Super League. 24-24 it was, wasn't I? I lost a couple of digits there. 24-24.
It was a draw. It was a draw.
A draw,
anyway.
yeah. I should have just left it at that, really.
Yep.
Briscoe. 12-6 here. Leeds in possession. Right-hand side. Watkins, they're trying to push him over the whitewash. Can't do so. Watkins went to ground. Sinfield. Delaney. And Lafranchi with the tackle. Ayton. Sutcliffe again. Finds Hardaker. He gets it away to Achurch. Achurch then to Ablett, stopped dead in his tracks by Lance O'Hare's tackle. Last one for Leeds. And
again it's ricocheted off it.
It's still the last tackle though, this. And Sutcliffe with a measured kick over the top. That's a tremendous effort from Sutcliffe. Fabulous. That belies the 19 years that Liam Sutcliffe has been on this earth.
He's come of age. This is the ricochet. But you can see there he got back as quickly. That's great anticipation. But this, young man, you've come of age. Take a bow.
No, they don't score a try from it, Eddie. Nobody picks it out of the air and touches down. It's not a 40-20, but that is a sensational kick.
Well,
that is
St Helens
really,
chasers.
really brilliant. Well, they're a little bit tired, I guess, at the moment, but look, give credit to that kick. That is brilliant.
Oh, terrific.
Absolutely
terrific
brilliant.
kick it was. I think even you might have kicked decently from that position, Brian, with all that time.
Yeah, well, plenty of time, absolutely, but he had to be composed. He's got a narrow angle to work with.
No, it was terrific.
That's brilliant kicks for the young player.
And not just the kick, you know, the anticipation when it ricocheted off a Saints player, how he got back so quickly.
Well, now Leeds have got to keep St Helens down there in their own half of the field. They've done it successfully for 3 tackles. They've done it successfully for 4. This is Roby, and he gives it to Turner, who goes for a 40-20 himself, does Turner. And this, I think, is going to make it. No, yes, yes, it does. Hardaker tried all that he knew.
It doesn't matter. It won't be classified as a 40-20, but it'll still be head and feet because he touched it.
It's better than a 40-20 because they're lining up on the 10-metre line.
He took it down another 5 metres. That was great. Great stuff. It looked as though it saved it, but it just couldn't get into the field of play. Good
Turner
work
then.
from Turner.
It was.
Nathan Brown has singled him out for praise as well, Eddie, in the weeks about his kicking game and his passing game. We got evidence there why Nathan Brown has so much faith in him as a player around the middle of the field that can step up and can come up with his big plays.
Well, 12 minutes or thereabouts left, 11 minutes actually, or thereabouts left, and
well, will it be a run from McCarthy Scarsbrook?
well, here he is, the big fella, and he drives it towards that Leeds line. A great effort on the first tackle from him. Roby waits, and it's Lafranchi. And Anthony Lafranchi, he is pulled to ground by Ryan Bailey. Roby again, looking at the options both ways, goes centre field, finds Soliola. There are 4 there to stop him. In blue and amber. Roby, quick play the ball. Roby! Oh, he's not given it yet. Is there a doubt about the grounding? There might be, according to Richard Silverwood. It's a decision again for Ben Thaler. Steve Ganson directing the traffic, and Ben Thaler making the decisions.
It can only be about the grounding. I think it's the position Richard Silverwood was in that would have caused him the problem. I think he twists as he goes down, so he wouldn't have a view. And you know, why wouldn't he go to check that? You know, it looks like it's a fair try, but you can see why Richard Silverwood would refer that. That ball looks like it's on the ground. I don't think there'll be an issue with this.
Did the St Helens player who played the ball move off the mark?
I don't think there's an issue with that, Steve. I think he's well away from any traffic, and I think the ball's down on the ground there.
It's and they're back in the game.
Yes, they are back in the game. They are back in the game if it's given. They're still not convinced.
Yeah,
they might be now.
That's a try. But I'm just a bit confused as to the man who played the ball. Did he move away?
Tries given to James Roby, and this kick, which will surely sail over the crossbar this time, will level us up at 12 apiece. So 24-24 last night, 12 all here in the last 10.
All came about Jordan Turner, absolutely superb kick. Hardaker tried everything to pull it through, and Roby, who surprisingly hasn't made many runs from dummy half, but when they needed it, he came up trumps.
Another change of kicker, Phil, before you come in. It's Makinson now, and he makes it 12 all.
It's clear, isn't it, what St Helens' plan or strategy was in this game. From the 40-20 kick, they had 4 runs at the try line. All 4 of them were in the centre of the field, almost underneath the goalpost. First, 3 big forwards, and then a smaller player going hard and low, fast, close to the ground. Very difficult to stop. But that plan of staying in the middle of the field has taken almost 70 minutes, but it's starting to bear fruit.
You can see why Richard Silverwood handed that one upstairs. Ryan McDermott knows his men are in a bit of a scrap now in the last 10 minutes. The ball ended up on the body of Zach Hardaker, who said to the referee, I prevented him scoring the try. Go up to the video referee and have another look. Peacock is back out there for a vital last 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's going to be a real scrap now, but my mind goes back to the opportunity that Leeds had where they were leading by 6 points. They turned away the chance to go for the 1-pointer. Psychologically, that could have been a bitter blow to the same side. Now, both sides will be thinking exactly the same.
Well, it's level with 10 minutes to go. You were criticising them for taking 2 points at the start of the game. They knew it was going to be tight. You can't have it both ways.
Come on. 2 minutes.
That was hours ago, Brian. Here's Josh Jones now for Saints. And we've reached the last tackle for St Helens. They're only just over halfway, though. Kick will have to be good here from Turner again. It's high. Oh, it's straight up in the air, this. Straight up in the air. Who wants it? Tommy Makinson did, but he was claimed collectively there. And hasn't Sutcliffe played well tonight?
He's had a great game.
Oh, penalty to Leeds. That movie, was that not standing square? Yes, it was.
Just got overexcited.
But Michael Monaghan's watching this from last night, saying, why didn't I get one of those in the last minute?
Here's a set now that can define you as a team defensively. You put in a really poor kick on the last tackle. You've given a penalty away. You're now going to have to defend your try line. What are you made of St Helens?
And you've got one of the best drop goal exponents in the country on the field in the shape of one Kevin Sinfield.
Well, I would be going for it.
This is Sutcliffe. Leeds. Oh, well, Watkins, he doesn't come up with many errors, but that's a big one.
Why send it through the 3 quarters? I just cannot believe that, when all they had to do was just go down the middle, put Sinfield in a good position. I'm not so sure Brian McDermott will be happy with that.
If St Helens get up the other end, who's the drop goal specialist for them? Lance O'Hire? Paul Wellens?
I'd have to say that Paul Wellens would take that responsibility. But it's a long way up that field. Well, they do have the possession.
Mossy Masoi, says Brian.
Got one in under 9.
The Irish can be quite sarcastic at times.
Well, Luke Walsh has got the only 2 drop goals that Saints have scored this year, and he is absent, of course.
Well, we saw a lack of concentration by the Saints players, and it was Willie Manu that wouldn't be straight at the mark, and this is where Leeds have to be very, very careful. That's back to 6.
And that's gone out. It's the first offence, which is the knock-on, so head and feed to Saints, who will rush, you would imagine, get there quickly. Well, Jordan Turner, get your head in, and he does. The referee calls time off.
Well, it was a thriller last night, and boy, we're all on the edge of our seats.
Well, we're into the business end, aren't we? And what about Jordan Turner before with this conversion attempt, which was kickable? Had he kicked that? And just think what happened last night. Had Danny Brough kicked his? We wouldn't have been talking about draws at Warrington. We might not be talking about draws at Headingley, but that's the territory we're in with 6.5 to go. And this is a chance for Saints.
It's a big word, if. But Saints, surely they will not lose the opportunity to do this. Will they go early? Who's back? Who's back? Lance O'Hire is there, is he? And Turner is.
It's back to Lance O'Hire. He's measured the drop goal attempt. And he's kicked it, I think. He has. The St Helens support told us that he'd found the mark with the kick. And St Helens hit the front. And what's more, they hit the front for the first time since the 5th minute. It just got there.
It doesn't matter how it goes over, it counted. Lance O'Hire has just taken them into the lead for the first time, as Eddie has already mentioned.
Since the 5th minute.
It's not that long ago that Leeds were in this situation at home against the Catalan Dragons. They're used to playing in these situations. They're calm under pressure. They've had 5-10 years of being here before. Lots of time, no panic. They know they'll have to act quickly, but they've been here and they're quite happy to be in this situation. They will not panic.
Only the first drop goal of his St Helens career for Lance O'Hire we've just watched. Only the second of his entire rugby league career from Lance O'Hire.
And that could give them the league leaders trophy.
It could. It so easily could, but we've got 5.5 minutes remaining.
Well, Leeds, 2 opportunities, first time. They didn't bother going for the 1 point, and then of course it was Callum Watkins that knocked on.
Well, it's I think that's Hull KR out of the playoff race. 28-0 Hull FC are leading, and it's only a later score. Oof! Scruffy pass from O'Hire. He was nearly the villain after being the hero. He got away with it. 5 minutes to go. Saints ahead by 1 point against the 12 men of Leeds.
Now, can the Rhinos get themselves into a position? That is the big question.
Very scruffy end to the set by St Helens. They cannot let the Leeds Rhinos down here. It'd be too easy for Sinfield to set up, construct a set that gets him in place to kick 1 point.
Final score at Widnes. They've beaten Wigan 24-10. That's one of the biggest results of the season for the Vikings. Unbelievable. So I think it's only Castleford or Leeds who can overhaul Saints at the top, and it depends what happens here now. Oh, Sutcliffe, he's lost it. Was it knocked out? Was it knocked out?
Who's going to be claimed as a knock-on? Is it Leeds? Is it Leeds head and feed?
He's not made the decision yet. He's not made the decision yet.
Well, that's definitely a knock-on in my book.
It's head and feed to St Helens, despite what you've seen.
Well, that's always been classified as a knock-on.
Well, it is. He's played at the ball there. He's clearly played at the ball. He's actually knocked it out. So, you know, is it actually play on from there? Because O'Hire knocks the ball backwards. I think he gets it out before the other people come into contact. So it could have actually been play on.
Well, it's now play on and time is back on. And this is Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. 3.5 minutes remaining. St Helens with their noses in front. Soliola will take it forward for them.
It's been a tremendous fight back by the Saints. They looked out on their feet, didn't they? And then they slowly but surely came back into it.
It's been a great effort from Leeds with 12 men, and 6 days after a Challenge Cup final too. But St Helens, this could be a significant night for them. They haven't won a trophy since 2008, remember. They could now be within an ace of picking up the league leaders' shield, and with it, of course, pole position going into the playoffs.
Get the kick away, get the kick away.
He's thought about another one. He's missed this one. The first was with the right foot, that was with the left foot, that one missed. So, 2.5 to go.
That really should have been kicked into over the touchline. I know he went for the 1 point, but he really would have been better served. No, that's great defence. Oh, that's tremendous defence there by Soliola.
Yes, they're out of the line very quickly now, are St Helens.
Got to be careful. Don't get caught offside. Don't move off the mark.
Delaney leads. Well, Saints in the old days, we used to say they could win it with 2 minutes remaining. Leeds certainly can.
Whatever way this game goes, Eddie, haven't we seen some character from both of these sides for different reasons? Saints shorn of all their playmakers. Leeds Rhinos, they're down some players going into the game, and then they lose a man and go down to 12. And both have shown guts and determination to give us a cracking finish.
Yes, it's not over yet either, because he's just found Jamie Jones-Buchanan as Briscoe. He finds Sinfield, Sinfield finds Sutcliffe. And Ryan Hall, the hero of 6 days ago, drops the ball with a possibility beckoning.
Nothing wrong with the pass, back on the inside by Liam Sutcliffe. And he was heading through the gap. He can't believe it, Ryan Hall. Neither can the coach, Brian McDermott. I think that might be the end. Saints will just crawl away for the rest of this game. There'll be no rush. They'll take their time. He can't believe it, Ryan Hall.
Well, whoever compiled the fixture format about 12 months ago or less really did a magic job. And they've got a perfect formula. Really, all the best teams playing against the rest at this time of year. There's an injury here now, which will just stop this game and perhaps give St Helens a rest.
Hull have beaten Hull KR 28-0. That will be a bitter pill for Chris Chester and company to swallow, but it will be something that Hull FC supporters will live on for the winter, as Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook eventually gets himself to his feet. At the end of tonight, if it stays like this, and remember Saints Warrington next week, if it stays like this and St Helens win, they will be 5 points clear of the field with 2 games to go for most, but 3 games for Castleford. So Castleford will be the only team capable of getting over the top of them. Wigan have lost tonight at Widnes. Leeds are losing here tonight against St Helens. It could be Saints League Leaders Shield here.
Yeah,
Castleford have got a say, though.
Yeah, just wrap it up the jumper time, and then make sure you kick into the corner, make sure it goes out of play. Nothing silly. Don't even bother passing.
This is Lafranchi. He'll take the last.
This is the most important kick of all. Get it over that whitewash.
Because we are in the last minute of the match. Wellens knows it. Wellens knows it. And it came off a Leeds player. Did he play at that, the Leeds man? Did he play at it?
Well, it's ruled that he hasn't played it. He's stopped and he's turned his back. He hasn't played at that ball.
No, he never lifted the boot, did he? Now then, I keep saying it. St Helens, they won't have a full-back in position. Oh, he's giving it the other way. Well, I think they're being badly done to them. Ayton, certainly to me, did not lift the boot. Oh, that is not being played out for mine. He's every right to feel furious about that decision.
Well, this time is slipping away.
Oh, it's all over.
Did he ask Richard Silverwood? Did he ask? Did he ask the video referee?
The information came through from the video referee that it was Saints' ball.
Okay, so the video referee gave the decision. We're in the last 5 seconds and Saints are going to win. St Helens are going to win. Here goes Roby. Are they going to put a little bit of icing on the cake? No, they're not. They'll take the 1-point victory. Nathan Brown and St Helens are still alive at the top of the table. And the League Leaders Shield is theirs to lose now. 5 points clear with 2 to go for most. 3 to go for the Castleford Tigers. They can have a say, the Tigers. Nobody else can. It's St Helens' Shield to lose. Well, McCarthy-Scarsbrook with the try after 64 minutes. Then Roby with the try after 70 minutes. That made it 12 apiece. O'Hare's drop goal coming back into the side after 3 out. There he is, Lance O'Hare, the hero of the moment for the Saints. And Graham Beecroft has got the man of the match with him, and it's Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook.
Well, Louis, congratulations on a victory, but you left it mighty late.
Yeah, we did know. We lost Percy in the first half, and we had to dig in as a team. We had to reshuffle, and the boys just set a couple of markers down at half-time where we needed to push on, and we pushed on, and just like a massive reps to the middle because they've done outstanding today.
Were you surprised with Leeds' effort, because obviously they played in the Challenge Cup final and they might have had a hangover from that?
Yeah, no, Leeds are an absolutely class outfit, and obviously it's a game to go top of the Super League, and we knew they wouldn't have no cup hangover because obviously they've done really well in the cup, winning that, and they performed really well today.
I don't know whether you've heard, but Wigan lost, so you've almost got your hands on the League Leaders Shield.
That's not too bad, is it?
It isn't at all. Many congratulations. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Liam Sutcliffe joins us now. Liam, congratulations on an excellent personal performance. You must have been pleased with that on an individual level.
No, not really. I'd took win over a good personal performance any day.
It looked as though you were winners of that game from a long way out, with everything you had against you, maybe a bit of a tiredness from the Challenge Cup final, and a man sent off as well.
Yeah, well, we'd prepared all week for this game. We know we were going to be tough, and we wanted to back up from from the final. We set a 7 winning the last 3 games, try and finish top, but no, just want to be tonight.
The fitness level was very high indeed. At one stage it looked as though you were the fitter side, despite being a man down than St Helens.
Yeah, well, we knew once we'd gone a man down, we had to, everyone had to raise the game, and it was always going to be tough against Saints with 13 men, but just made it that little bit tougher with 12.
Thanks for joining us, thank you.
Cheers.
A great personal performance from Liam Sutcliffe, but the team that has gone home with the spoils, the Saints, courtesy of Lance O'Hire's drop goal and some courage in the face of adversity. They didn't play particularly well. They were up against 12 men for a long time in that match, over an hour, and Leeds had it in their pockets. But just like last night, when Warrington and then Huddersfield picked each other's pocket, that's exactly what the Saints have done here.
It's okay! Oh, it's not in touch!
In World War II, it was the terror of the seas, the U-96 U-boat. Bring the Wolf of the Deep back to life with this stunning model, complete in every detail, including command center, engine room, and torpedo tubes. Your magazine includes step-by-step instructions and builds to a definitive guide to the world of submarines. The U-96 U-boat, issue 1, only 50p. She was the world's fastest steam locomotive, a symbol of engineering genius. Mallard. Every week, follow our easy step-by-step instructions and build this highly detailed O-gauge model with replica original features and discover the age of steam in your magazine. Mallard. Issue 1, only 50p.
It's summer season at Renault, with stunning offers across our range of cars and vans. Let summer set you free, with touchscreen navigation and 4 years warranty, servicing and finance. And up to £1,500 deposit contribution until the 30th of September. 6.9% APR representative.
Okay, which one of you losers nicked my deodorant?
Who'd want to smell like you?
Who would smell like you?
Nice, mature.
Zip it, shrimpy.
Dan, eat a Snickers.
Why?
Because you turn into a right diva when you're hungry. Better? Better.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers. Get some nuts.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing we stand for at Oak Furnitureland is quality.
And incredible prices.
Yes, of course. So the two things we stand for...
No deposit on our interest-free credit, free delivery, any table with any chair packages, free mirror, no flat packs, solid...
In Oak Furnitureland's end of August sale, get this solid oak dining set for just $7.99.
So the 28 things we stand for?
Onward.
What started as a game...
This one's hot. Over.
...is about to get real.
They're not LAPD. Maybe a special unit.
Yeah, we're black ops, dude.
Let's be cops.
Freedom for the taking. Blue e-cigarettes and e-liquids.
Sammy Bastian tweeted at Paddy Power, "Squeaky bum time. Need this one to land a 5-fold accumulator." Well, we hear you, Sammy. And what could possibly go wrong? Uh-oh. It's the chairman's daughter. It's twins. That's going to mess with his head. Well, Sam, if your ACCA survives this madness, you deserve a big reward. We're offering a 20% bonus on all 5-fold and up accumulators. That's your winnings in your pocket plus a 20% bonus. Only with Paddy Power. Unbelievable offers for an unbelievable league. Download our app and bet now. We hear you.
Good news. Yakult Light has fewer calories. One more reason why. Every day is a Yakult day.
With age, we get better at lots of things. We take more risks. In a word, we improve.
Vitalif 5 from L'Oréal Paris. 1 step, 5 actions to target wrinkles, firmness, dryness and discomfort.
Skin feels smoother, firmer and looks revitalized.
Vitalif 5 from L'Oréal Paris Men Expert.
Sky Sports 5, your new home of European football.
Well, would you believe that?
Coming up in September, Euro 2016 qualifiers.
This could be the moment.
Eredivisie.
Yeah.
La Liga.
Absolute class.
The UEFA Champions League.
Sensational.
Sky Sports 5, your new home of European football. To guarantee you'll be able to watch all of this, go to skysports.com/5 to activate now.
Sky Sports, your home of sport. Whenever you want, wherever you are.
It's okay. Oh, it's not in touch.
Significant night for St Helens. They've won here at Headingley, and we're going to look back on it all in Super League Extra Time and keep you up to date with what's happened elsewhere as well. It's been a big night for some, a disappointing night for others. Massive night for St Helens. 13-12 they've won. That only tells half the story. Phil Clark's got the rest of the story with the stats.
Well, after having most of the ball in the first half, Leeds didn't enjoy as much in the second half. They had 58 play the balls, quite a lot less. They had some decent field position, passed the ball all over the field. You can see they got close to opponent's try line quite often. But what about the other team? This is where the game changed in the second 40. Look at that, a massive difference. 24 play the balls more than their opponents. And just look down the middle of the field, 11, 9, 11, 17 and 7. They stayed down that middle channel, and in the end, it proved to be successful for them.
Yes, so there we are. That's the story of the match in terms of the stats. But don't forget, of course, that Leeds also had a man sent off. There's the jubilant and victorious coach, Nathan Brown. Is he jubilant? He's with Graham. Let's find out.
Well, Nathan, Eddie is asking whether you're jubilant or not. What's the answer?
Yeah, look, I'm really proud of the guys. You know, it was a tough game. Obviously, you know, people are going to talk about the 12 men they had, but, you know, in the first half, I thought we did a lot of defence on our goal line, and we sort of scrambled well and hung in there well for each other, and they're a champion team, aren't they? You know, and they just don't give up, do they? And that's why they've got all the trophies they've got. And second half, our attack sort of got a little bit going, but with our new system, they put us under a lot of pressure and we folded a little bit. But then we come up with some much better attacking play in the second half, and we were fortunate enough to get away with the win. But look, I'm really proud of the guys. And as I said, you know, people were focused on Leeds having 12 men, but I know how great the players are they had on the field and what we had to do to get by, and you know, we'll take it as a good result and try and move forward.
And with Wigan losing, you've almost got your hands on the League Leaders Trophy.
Well, yeah, you know, we're really so proud of the guys, you know, and as like Brian Mack, there'd be no prouder bloke here tonight than Brian Mack. You know, what a great club and a champion bunch of players he's got there, and you know, I feel the same for the boys we've got. You know, we've got a great club too, and you know, we've got something building for not only now but for the next sort of 4 or 5 years for St Helens.
Thanks, Nathan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nathan Brown, one hand on the League Leaders Shield, and well, he can't believe by the looks of things that Wigan lost. Wigan lost. They did, Nathan. They have lost at Widnes, and it's a significant night, this, fellas.
Yeah, you better believe it, Nathan Brown. Your side was 12 points to 2 down at half-time. That became 12-6, John Wells, when a man who I feel owed his team a big performance because of a couple of errors, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, crossed to score.
Yeah, it was Louis who came up with the eventual try. I'm going to give some credit to Lance O'Hire in the build-up here. I thought he did extremely well. 2 bits of footage. Here's Lance O'Hire, first of all. We're going to have a look at Zach Hardacre as well, normally very, very good at the back. Let's have a look, because this just does bobble up a little bit, and we're going to have I think at a certain point here, when you're reading the bounce of the ball, that's where he has to take that. He chooses not to, and then the kick chase forces the dropout. So Lance O'Hire takes some credit for that. First of all, this is the play leading up to the try. Good run, skittled in defence, the markers. Now then, here we go. Let's have a look at this. So first of all, let's break this down very, very quickly. This shape here persuaded Zach Hardacre to pull Mitch Achurch this side. They're now one short of numbers on the short side. Second thing, have a look at James Roby at the base of the ruck. I mean, I think he intends to go this way as well. I think he gets an overcall from Lance O'Hire on the short side. Look what it does to Jamie Peacock at second marker. The first step, everything's pointing to an open side shot. Jamie just goes, loses his feet, and then all of a sudden you're back on the outside. Aiton's running sideways and Louis back in the space. And yes, you're right, he did owe him because he had a very lax first half by his own high standards.
Turner missed the conversion, but it became a level game when James Roby crashed over close to the line. Took a video referee decision, but some nice build-up to this try.
Yeah, first of all, let's have a look at the 40-20. I thought it was really well executed. Kept it low, didn't he? Gave Zach Hardacre very little chance to get back. I thought he did well. For a second there, that looked like it was going to stay in touch. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook got man of the match. I think it's for contributions like this. Straight off the scrum. Now they are 18 metres, he takes that ball 18 metres from the goal line. This first carry, I think, changes the complexion of this goal line defence completely, because now all of a sudden they're on red alert. They're on the goal line. 2 plays later, that goal line is breached and James Roby gets over for the try which drew the match.
He is an inspirational player. Some very smart players on show tonight, John. One of them, Lance Ohio, was involved in scoring the winning point as well.
Yeah, 2 bits of smart play, one from Leeds. We'll just put this in because Liam Sutcliffe is a player on the up and up. I think Sutcliffe, there's a real temptation there to go in for the challenge and to take that ball. What he does there is really smart. That's textbook stuff, but he was outthought by, if Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook got man of the match, he was Lance Ohio was the man who had the most influence on it, and that was the drop goal that eventually secured the 2 points for St Helens. Very good victory.
Psychologically, St Helens could take a lot from that game.
Yeah, I think so, particularly the second half scoreline, 11-0 against the guys who just come back with the Challenge Cup. That's impressive.
Just a 1-point loss for the Leeds Rhinos in what was a very special week for the club. They won the Challenge Cup, got that monkey off their back. Wonder what their coach Brian McDermott made of that loss in Super League. He's talking to Graham Beecroft now.
Well, Brian, you must be, despite the result, absolutely delighted and very proud of what your side very nearly achieved there.
Yeah, you probably, I don't know, I don't view it like that. I probably will do tomorrow. Just hugely disappointed. You know, we credit to Saints, tough game that, and Saints did what they had to do. Obviously, sending off was a huge part of the outcome of that game, and it's a shame when it has a bearing on games like that. It's, without commenting on the incident in itself, but I thought that was the difference between the 2 teams.
Liam Sutcliffe came in for you, and I thought he had a very good game indeed.
Yeah, Sutcliffe is a good player. He's been playing first team now for a couple of seasons, and showed again just how worthy he is of playing in first team with us.
And finally, you've picked yourself up from victory in the Challenge Cup final to put in a tremendous performance here. You've got to do it again now.
I didn't have to do too much of that because they're just a grand set of players. They're a pleasure to coach, and as soon as that silverware was awarded, we turned our attention to Saints.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks, Brian.
Cheers.
Yeah, he's disappointed, no wonder, because this was the chance for Leeds to maybe have a go at claiming the League Leaders' Shield. As it is, Hull have probably put an end to Hull Kingston Rovers' playoff ambitions, and Widnes have certainly dented Wigan's chances of lifting the League Leaders' Shield. In fact, it's only Castleford now, as you will see from this, who have a chance of catching them, and that's going to be a long haul. Saints are 5 points clear of the field from 5 to 1, and there's only 2 matches remaining, so Saints will win it if it's up to Wigan, Warrington, Huddersfield and Leeds. Castleford have got to win each and every one of their remaining 3 matches and hope that St Helens come a cropper somewhere down the line. Let's have a look down at the bottom. Widnes up to 7th. They're 4 points clear of Hull KR, 2 games to go. Hull are out of it, and Salford and the Wakefield Wildcats, they play at the weekend. Whoever wins that will have a chance of catching either the Catalan Dragons or the Widnes Vikings. But it looks as though the top 8 is going to be, as we're looking at it there. Well, it's the traditional lap of honour, and there's the silverware they won last week. They will be disappointed the fact that they've come out at the end of a defeat. It'll be a little bit of a hollow celebration, I'm sure. Brian McDermott was convinced that the sending off of Joel Moon played a huge part in that match. You can't argue against that view. I've got Terry and Barry McDermott here in the studio for company. And, really, with that sort of a challenge, I'm afraid the referee, having had a couple of looks at it via the video referee, he had nowhere to go, fellas.
Yeah, but I think Brian's probably disappointed that even after that adversity put in front of him, he felt that the game was winnable and they put themselves into a winning position. But as we catch our breath from a game like that, isn't it a real feature of 2014, the games and the teams that don't give up and just keep going? And I've heard